Welcome to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Joyous conversations about what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about our one reality. You have nothing to fear. You are eternal and you are perfectly loved. Knowing the truth changes everything. Now, here's Roberta.
Welcome to Seek Reality, my dear friends. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I am delighted that you can be with us today. Oh, my dear ones, our guest today is one of my oldest and dearest friends in the spiritual education community, and he's someone whose work I think is especially precious because he can help people, he really can, who are seeking to better understand what's going on and is in fact happening in our minds, which is actually part of that one great consciousness that is in fact God at its highest point and is in truth all that there is. I mean, this is really big and amazing stuff. Think about that. When our guest today talks about your imagination, simply remember that everything that exists is happening within God's imagination, and your mind is a continuous part of God's mind. So your own mind is in fact extremely powerful. Think about that. You and I don't think about things this way usually, so our minds just don't seem to us to be as powerful as they actually are. But our minds are all part of that one great consciousness that is all that there is. Think about this now. And I think I said this also the last time that he was here, but I want you to think about it all the time. Jesus tells us that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, that's little, tiny, the tiniest seed that he knew of. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. And that is exactly what he is talking about, my dear ones. That reference is in the Gospel of Matthew. It's right there. Jesus said it. If you have that little bit of faith, then Katie bar the door, that mountain is going to move for you. This is what Peter is talking about, how powerful our minds really are. I first met him maybe between 15 and 20 years ago. I was just really starting out in learning these things. And when I met Peter, I was entranced by him. I was on a speaking tour. I don't do those tours anymore, but since that time, this is Peter Wright's 25th Seek Reality appearance. I was just, as I say, entranced by him. He is a certified hypnotherapist in Santa Barbara, California. He has more than 30 years experience, and he's also one of only 40 board-certified past life regression therapists in the nation. Peter is also certified as a Life Between Lives hypnotherapist, and he is skilled in Spirit-Releasement too. He has helped more than 2,000 clients through hypnotherapy by Zoom, phone, or in person from his office in Santa Barbara, California. It's actually really beautiful where he lives. Oh, I've been there, I think, a couple of times. I loved it. Where he lives is beautiful. He offers free 30-minute website consultations to prospective clients. And for more information, just go to his website. It's insightsfromwithin.com, and that's exactly what he offers you. He advertises that you can experience insight, growth, and healing by connecting with your own inner wisdom team. And you can do that unless you have a very bossy primary spirit guide like my Thomas. I tried to go and have this kind of wonderful insight experience that he offers, but my Thomas shut it down right away. He said I could work with Peter after I've transitioned, but while I'm working with my Thomas, I've got to just pay attention to him. He wouldn't allow me to work with Peter. I still kind of feel frosted about that, but that's the way my Thomas is. Most people's primary spirit guides, though, are much more lenient and flexible, and they enjoy Peter too. But meanwhile, I can just kind of listen vicariously to these wonderful experiences that other people have with Peter. Peter, welcome. I'm so happy to have you with us today.
It is a pleasure to be back with you again, Roberta. Yay, us.
Yay, us. Now, whenever you come, nowadays, you bring us a case study, basically, of someone's wonderful experience working with you. And you've told me a little bit about this one. It is fascinating. And first, could you tell us a little bit about just what you do? Because I think it's beautiful and really, frankly, it really is amazing.
Okay. So to begin with, by focusing on a client, a recent client, let's say her name is Alice, she gave me permission to share the highlights of our session with you today. She found out about me through Seek Reality. And with her permission, I'd like to share what occurred during our rather remarkable hypnotherapy session.
Yeah, I'm eager to have you talk about this. This is really sweet.
And so I'm going to go into a bit more detail about several protocols that I use that can be very helpful in releasing what no longer serves my clients through my practice. So during this connection, we made a very strong contact with her own guidance, with Alice's guidance. And they helped her eliminate some key past life and other blockages that had been holding her back from fulfilling her purpose and resolving issues in her lifetime. I've, of course, changed the client's name to ensure anonymity. So what I'd like to do is to first share with you what Alice was seeking to resolve. She's 57 years old and lives in the Northeast. And she wanted to make a stronger connection with her heart, her higher self, and all of her guidance from the light. She wanted to find out what was blocking her from moving forward in her life today. She felt like she needed to release some karmic debts from her past lifetimes. She wanted to connect with her family members who'd passed on. She wanted to gain a deeper understanding of her life's purpose and to silence that self-critical voice within her. Plus anything else we could do on behalf of her highest good. So,
I mean, this is heavy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It turns out she had some past life issues that were pretty amazing and serious.
Mm-hmm. And as many of your listeners already know, I have a rather metaphysical hypnotherapy practice. So to put this into context, I'd like to start with describing briefly what hypnosis is. It's just simply focused concentration. We go in and out of trance every day. If you've ever cried while watching a sad film, you've been in hypnosis. It's quite similar to meditation. For me, I find that in meditation, you're in a deeply relaxed state. But it's like a telescope, inspiring you to see the big picture. In hypnosis, you're in that same state of deep relaxation, but it's like a microscope, where we're looking within you and, with the help of your guidance, to resolve the issues that you brought to the session. I find that about 60% of my clients are visual. So we go into a past life, and it's like they're starring in their own motion picture costume drama. Terrific. But 40% of my clients, and I'm in this group myself, are more sensing, feeling, imagining, and so on. When I go into a past life, I don't see anything. I see it, I hear it, I see it, and I sense it. But I feel like I'm making up the whole thing. But I'm making up this story, not that one over there. It's coming from somewhere. And I find that in the trance state, your soul speaks through your imagination. And your soul isn't making things up. Rather, it's translating what is inside of you into first thought, first feeling, first image, first voice. So I invite you to be my tour guide. Be my court reporter and share with me whatever's happening as the session unfolds. So let's talk about what happens during a session. As a client in the trance state, you can easily channel your heart, your higher self, and all the guidance available to us from the light. And that includes your spirit guides, your angels, archangels, and ascended masters. Plus, you can channel loved ones from this life who've passed on, as well as explore your past lives. All of this guidance knows everything about you from this life and past lives. And they're eager to partner with us during the session to help you resolve these issues. So I'd like to share my notes from my session with Alice, because even though I've been working doing this work for 25 years, I was especially pleased with how the session unfolded. And I think you as listeners and viewers will be intrigued with the session as well.
Yeah.
So I guided Alice into hypnosis and then on a visualization on up into the light of the fifth dimension. In that higher vibration, we can go anywhere, anyhow, any why, any when. And it's very easy to connect with your heart, your higher self, Archangel Michael, and all your guidance. They know everything about you, as I mentioned. I recently came upon a quote from Albert Einstein, who said it's very difficult to resolve the issues that we're involved in the third dimension. But if you go to a higher level, a higher vibration, it's quite easy to come to closure with these issues. So I find that this approach is much better than talk therapy, which is based in the third dimension. And it happens much more quickly thanks to the guidance available to us. So I took Alice into hypnosis on up into the fifth dimension, and I asked her, what does this place look like or feel like or seem like to you? And she said she felt safe, protected, and aware. It was like she was floating, and described the energy as circular. Okay. So then I asked her heart to join us. You may experience your heart as an image or a feeling or a presence or maybe a knowing or it could be an inner voice. And Alice said, I see my heart as an all-loving energy surrounding me. Okay. So let's invite that all-loving energy to come forth right now through you as if you were channeling it with words like, I'm here. I'm here, said Alice's heart. How do you support Alice? I asked it. I keep her safe. I give her the support she needs to give her strength. I'm very proud of Alice, said her heart. So we invited her higher self to come forth. How does your higher self make itself known to you now? It could be an image, a feeling, a presence, a knowing, or maybe an inner voice. It's a knowing energy, Alice said. Well, let's invite that energy to come forth with words like, I'm here. Absolutely, said her higher self. Okay. Well, I hope it's her higher self, but it could be any voice at all. She's just simply channeling. So I asked a key question. Higher self, are you in service to the light and love of the one infinite creator? Truth and nothing but the truth. If that channeled voice is not from the light, it cannot lie and say, I sure am.
Here I am, yeah.
So I asked that question to make sure we're speaking with the true higher self.
True.
Or archangels, or ascended masters, and other high vibrational beings from the light. So, of course, her higher self said yes. All right. So, higher self, how do you support Alice? Here's what it said. I offer her guidance and keep her safe. I tell her the glass is always half full. Keep at it. Don't give up. Have faith and hope. All right. So I asked Archangel Michael to join us. Alice described him as a large, smiling figure of light. I'm here, he said as Alice channeled his energy. I then confirmed that Archangel Michael was indeed in service to the light and love of the one infinite creator. So, next we invited Alice's heart to join us. We asked her heart, her higher self, and Archangel Michael to form the beginnings of Alice's inner wisdom team. This team knows everything about Alice from this life and past lives and is eager to partner with us to help her resolve the issues that we're focusing on. In fact, what I tell my clients is that the inner wisdom team brings their to-do list to the session while Alice brings her list, but the inner wisdom team's list takes precedence because they know where we need to go first, and the team will take us there. So I asked Archangel Michael to then scan Alice's energy to find out where we should go first. He told us that we needed to go into a particular past life to help her resolve the key issues that had brought us together for our hypnotherapy session. Great, let's go there. So I checked with the inner wisdom team and learned that the team itself was in fact aware of that past life. They told us that karma from that past life was punishing Alice in this life, causing doubt, heaviness, and other problems for her. So, since we're going to be going into this past life, we invited Lady Master Kuan Yin to join us. She is one of the few female ascended masters. She's the bodhisattva of compassion from the Buddhist tradition. Kuan Yin is very similar to Mother Mary in her unconditional love, and she also heads up the Karma Council that we can appeal to for grace. Because again, this is something past life related involving karma. So I invited Kuan Yin to join us with words like, I'm here, and I confirmed that she was in fact in service to the light and love of the one infinite creator. So I asked her, could you help Alice release the karma that was preventing her from resolving these issues? And of course, Kuan Yin said yes. So we're now going to go back into that particular past life. So I invited Alice to imagine herself standing in the center of a circular room with 5 doors. As she stood in that spot, I told her that one of those doors is going to take you back to the most important past life for you to explore that will help us come to closure with this karma. Which door is it? I asked her. And she said, it's the door that's right behind me. I asked her to describe the door. It's made out of dark metal. Great. So I told her that by opening that particular door, she'd be led into the most important situation for us to explore regarding that past life. I encouraged her to open the door and imagine herself walking through a blue mist as I counted from 5 down to 1. And at the count of 1, I invited her to plant yourself firmly down in the memory of your body as it was then and become aware of your feet. What are you wearing on your feet? Alice then described herself as being barefoot with large hands that were dirty and rough. She realized that she was a male who was inside a jail feeling traumatized, cold, and alone. Her hands were tied and that she was in chains. So, as we explore this past life, we learned that she'd been a powerful king who had been imprisoned and was now facing death for his brutal actions towards his people. During this regression, we visited several events that led him to be arrested and locked away in jail because he had hurt so many people due to his evil deeds. We then moved forward to the moments leading up to his death. He found himself inside and alone and said, I died bitter. I can do better, he said. So I asked him, what is your final thought in that physical body? And he responded, I feel remorse towards those I hurt and what I did. So I invited the king to move out of his physical body and into his spirit body. How does that feel? I asked him. He said, lighter. I then asked that energy, that past life personality, to move into the bardo, that in-between place between lifetimes that the Tibetan Buddhists talk about. And our goal was for him, as the evil king, to invite key people from that lifetime with whom he had unfinished business, to join him there in the bardo so we could come to closure with them one by one. A friend of the king showed up, and he told us that he had tried to help the imprisoned ruler in that lifetime, hoping that by doing so, that he could help create more love and acceptance within the king, despite the tragic outcomes when they both had died. And the ruler welcomed and thanked his friend for his efforts that really were not too successful. Alice then realized as she was talking with this friend of the king, or channeling it, if you will, that in fact that friend was her brother Joe in her current life, who had died when Alice was a teenager. Again, often we're reborn with the same souls lifetime after lifetime, but in different connections with them. So there was a connection here with her brother in her current life. I then invited, after we visited several of these key events in that past life, for Kuan Yin would it be time for us, for Alice, to express a divine decree of forgiveness that could help the key players from that life who are in her present life today to forgive one another so that everyone could heal and come to closure and move forward on their own soul's journey. Because what I find in working with past lives is that often, and in this life too, forgiveness is key.
Yes.
By forgiving, as you well know, Roberta, It is so important by forgiving everybody and ourselves so we can all move forward. Because we're all doing the best that we can in that moment, otherwise we'd be doing something different. And often we've asked each other in our soul cluster before coming into Earth to play the mean stepmother or the evil king or the whatever, so you can learn what it's like to experience that and therefore gain the wisdom of what it's like to have that had experience, so you can be more loving and compassionate towards yourself and others. So Kuan Yin said, yes, that was an excellent idea. So we invited the key players from that lifetime, who had also reincarnated with Alice in her present lifetime, to join us as a group in Alice's imagination. I asked her, who shows up? And she said, the man from that lifetime who tried to help the ruler, but died alongside him in that past life. This is Joe, who we met earlier, Alice's brother, who died when she was a teenager in this life, and who was then, as I say, the reincarnation of the king's past life friend. Who else shows up? Alice said, oh, Aunt Ellie's here. She died several years ago, and she must have been in that life as well. In fact, Alice told me that Ellie was the first one who saw my light when I was growing up. Excellent. Who else shows up? My father from this life, who passed on recently, joined us next. Alice said to him, we miss you, Papa. I love you. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for answering my prayers. Then others joined us as well, Alice reported. So, at this point, with everyone present, along with the king and friends and so on from that past life, I asked Alice to express a divine decree of forgiveness. And I find this to be very powerful, which is why I would like to go through this with all of you on this podcast. So I asked Alice to express the following words, phrase by phrase, through her heart, with as much heartfelt feeling as possible. The Christ in me, then say your full name, Alice, forgives all of you for all your actions in thought, word, or deed in this and all lifetimes. And repeat these words with as much heartfelt feeling as possible. And the Christ in each of you present forgives me, Alice gave her full name, for all my actions in thought, word, or deed in this and all lifetimes. I asked her to repeat these words, with a great deal of heartfelt feeling and emotion. It's through the heart, not through the head. And we all release this through all lifetimes, through all parallel lives, in all dimensions, throughout time and space and all aspects of self, to zero, negative infinity now. And I rang a Tibetan bell. And after this, repeat after me again with great heartfelt feeling and emotion, and we all move on to our higher good. And so it is. So then I chimed in with, we asked all of our masters and teachers and guides from the highest light to assist in correcting what we have just done today to divine truth and divine perfection now. And I rang a Tibetan bell. I asked Alice's inner wisdom team, was this sufficient, this divine decree, to help resolve these issues? And they said, we need a bit more work to be done. Alice is not completely healed yet. What wants to happen? We needed to release the blocked, painful, negative emotions from that lifetime that she realized were still locked in her body, especially in her hands. So in other words, we'd come to closure with perhaps the karma, but this is left over from the karma from all the emotions, the negative emotions and so on from that life that had come into this life that were affecting her physical body. So I asked her, where do you feel these painful negative emotions? And she said, they're in my hands. In fact, I asked him, what color is that energy? It's black. It's cold. It's cruel. Blocked energy. So I encourage her to surround that cold, cruel, blocked energy in her hands and in her mind with her imagination, taking control of it, because up until now, it's been controlling her. And to take that and focus on it and allow that energy there in her hands to move on up her body and out to the top of her head, putting it behind her in the light, asking the angels of the white light to, in her crown chakra, to transmute that energy into white light energy, releasing it, setting it free. I then invited her to focus on her hands and allow crystal and white light energy to flow in and fill up where that blocked energy had been. Crystal and white light energy, high vibration. Bring it all the way up to a 10, so it's really, 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 really bright white light in her hands. And then allow that energy to get even brighter, even stronger, and then allow that energy now to mix with your mind. So we're bringing the head energy into the body of her hands, and allow the two to mix, to combine. Because by doing so, we're helping to educate the mind and the negative energy in her hand that's now been released. And it's getting brighter, brighter, stronger, 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 and allow it to mix with your mind, because by doing so, it will create an opportunity for wisdom, for forgiveness, for compassion, for letting go of the past, to truly forgive what has occurred and move on with your energy, with your body, with your life. So then I asked, what's the message in the light for you, Alice? And she replied, I feel this loving, positive energy now filling up my arms. It's so powerful. It's penetrating into me. The shackles are finally gone. Doing this protocol has helped me to let go of all that karmic energy that has blocked me for so long. My inner wisdom team just confirmed that. And they just said, I can finally move forward in my life. In fact, my inner wisdom team is so happy for me, she said. They tell me not to be afraid anymore, and that I have the army of the light that is assisting me. And they tell me that they are never going to leave me. Wow, terrific. So I asked her inner wisdom team, what is your message for Alice now from the light? And here's what they told her. We're eager to work with you, Alice, to help you change the world. You have such a powerful, loving inner wisdom team. You can now see your own light. You're ready to take on this. And then they said to me, they've been rooting for me. I can now see how my gifts and abilities can be shared with the world, Alice said. She then said this to her inner wisdom team. You've given me the hope and strength to move forward. Thank you for not doubting me. The potential is infinite. How lucky I am. You have never left my side. I'm 56 years old. I'm your disciple. I'm holding Jesus to my heart. We're all carrying on the mission of Jesus. I want to change the world. Wow, I'm thinking to myself, this is terrific.
Yeah.
So I asked her inner wisdom team, what just happened from your perspective? So Alice's heart, higher self, and Archangel Michael and Kuan Yin joined us. We're here, they said. And the team responded, Alice has just experienced a major release of karmic debt. And she knows we're here to support her. Loud and clear. Alice has got it. She's elated. The shackles are gone. And now we want to work with you, Alice. So I asked, because Alice had asked this right up front, what's my purpose in this life for Alice? And they said to her, helping others by spreading the teachings of Jesus in a modern, relatable way. Now she can move forward. Alice is more confident, open, trusting, and she has the positive power to put her gifts into action to help others. Plus, she has her inner wisdom team backing her at every step along the way. So I then asked her inner wisdom team, what are Alice's gifts that she's bringing to the world? And they responded, Reiki, love, the presence of seeing others in the light, holding the space and throwing out the lifeline to others to support them. Wow. Her team then said to Alice, you can now stand in your own power. Realizing what occurred, Alice said these important words to her inner wisdom team. I want to be pushed to the outer limits. My guides knew that I was ready to meet that challenge. I will be unstoppable. I am so honored to have such a powerful, beautiful team behind me. I will never be in the darkness again. My hands are free. It is so beautiful. My team is so grateful to me for climbing the mountain and never giving up. They will help me as we move forward. So, as the session drew to a close, I asked her inner wisdom team this question. From your perspective, team, how have we helped Alice during today's session? In other words, I'm looking for a summary from them about what happened. So I asked a spokesperson from her team to come forth and share that message from her inner wisdom team with words like, I'm here. I'm here, said a voice. What name may we call you? It turned out to be Aunt Ellie, who had joined us in the divine decree of forgiveness. So, Aunt Ellie, what did we accomplish today for Alice's highest good? Here's what she said. First, we brought unconditional love to Alice. She's been waiting for this moment, and we are so grateful to all those who helped her today. What else did we do? We got rid of the past life karma that was blocking her and needed to be released. Great. What else happened today, Aunt Ellie? We will help guide Alice and put her next steps into a formula that can ripple forth under her leadership with the guidance of her inner wisdom team. Alice was thrilled. So then I asked for an overall message from Alice's inner wisdom team and invited a member of the team to share this message with us. Just a second here. Who showed up to share the message? Turned out her angelic guides as a group shared this message with her. They said, Alice, you are loved. We're here for you, and we will guide you and put it into that formula to help you make an impact on the world. Are you ready to take this responsibility, they asked. And Alice responded, I'm ready. So take me where I need to go to make all this happen. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. So we got together a week later because with all my clients, we have the session, and then I send them a recording of the session and 10 handouts that they can use to help them connect with their inner guidance and help them on their journey, including the 21 essential angels, the how to manifest what you want in your life. I include a link to my higher self shortcut, which is my voice, hypnotic music, takes them into trance and up into the light, where they can reconnect with this inner wisdom team. And my hope is they'll begin to work with the team daily to ask them more questions and get more answers on their soul's journey. It can be very, very powerful. In other words, we're working with your own intuition. You already work with them, but now you know what they look like and sound like and feel like, and they've helped us during the session and are eager to continue to work with you in the future. So, a week later, I asked Alice what had shifted, what changed in the week before since our hypnotherapy session. Here's what she said. I am more present and grounded. I am back in my power with more clarity and confidence. I'm more connected to my inner wisdom team, to the angelic realm, and the invisible world. My confidence is improved, and I have the passion and support to move forward to fulfill my mission in this life to help change the world. And so it is. We brought the session to a close. Comments, questions, Roberta?
I think that's beautiful. It's profound. I mean, we live very different lifetimes. And we change gender. Mm-hmm. We change, sometimes we experiment with being not very nice people, as we just saw in that case. Obviously a very sweet person. She was not a very sweet person in that lifetime for sure. And we experiment, we learn, we grow by doing very different things with our different lives. And exactly. She learned a lot from that lifetime and grew a lot from it. But without having you to help her go into it, how would she ever have learned what she learned?
Right.
Her experience with you. I don't know how else she could have learned all that.
Well, talk therapy couldn't help her because talk therapy is working here in the third dimensional world. And in fact, we're in the fifth dimensional world where all the wisdom exists and eager to come through her to help her make these shifts and changes, to help her through forgiveness and compassion and love and so on, and let go of all the negative emotions.
Well, that's really the issue. I mean, this information was available to her freely, but it was not available to this version of her conscious mind at all.
Mm-hmm. Right. We're so locked in our third dimensional reality, thinking that's all there is, when there is so much more available to us that can be reached through meditation, through prayer, through hypnosis. So that's why I'm so committed as part of my own personal mission for the last 25 years to work with clients and helping them to release the blocks that keep them powerless so they can take back their power with love, compassion, and support. Because that's why we're here, to be to help each other, to be forces of the light, to share that wisdom with others. Help them on their way.
And when I asked Thomas why he wouldn't let me do this with you, he said he was doing it with me.
Well, good.
And I can see that it's right. He's doing it in different ways.
Right.
And that's actually, I'm going to write a blog post about it. But I think that this is a phenomenal way for people to efficiently access the things which are troubling them that they can't reach. There's no way they can reach where you take them without someone who does the kind of thing that you do to get them to these otherwise unreachable sources of information that are really quite amazing.
Well, it's short-term therapy. So typically I'll get together with a client for a consultation right up front, a free consultation by Zoom or phone or in person, where we talk about the issues that they're seeking to resolve. And I describe my practice, how it works, how it all fits together in terms of the resources available to us. And if there's a match, great. If there's not a match, great. They'll know. But then we get together for the session, and magic can occur thanks to the guidance that's available to us. And we then get together a week later for a follow-up session. And my hope is they can begin to work with the tools that I've shared with them, especially their inner wisdom team, in order to continue to tune in maybe daily for 10 minutes or so, or 5 minutes or whatever, connect with the team, and ask them a question through their heart, get an answer from the team about next steps, and move forward with that in mind, expressing gratitude to the team and all others as they move forward. So it can be a very powerful way to really let go of the blockages that have kept you imprisoned or held you back.
Now, one thing some people may wonder is the various beings that are part of this, that you're sort of helping them to access, are not really religious figures precisely, right?
Exactly. They're above all religion. They're angels, archangels, ascended masters, and so on, that are not part of a particular religion, but are just simply available to us because they're above all religions.
Yes. I've tried to explain this sometimes, but people are so, especially very religious people, are so admired in the dogmas of the various religions that they don't understand that there is a path that is basically above the religions, but that's truly the case.
Right.
All of these beings there are teachings that they have learned themselves and that they then can share, but they have nothing to do with the dogmas of any religion, which are too simplistic by far, and cannot really help with any of this that I can see.
And
None of the religions can help. But that was I think this was a particularly wonderful session that you had with her, and obviously very helpful to her.
And what I find is, as well, is that I'm constantly surprised at who does show up, because growing up in the Christian tradition, I'm used to working with those who we all know, angels, archangels, and so on. But on occasion, I work with Kuan Yin, who's from the Buddhist tradition. I worked on occasion, Zeus has shown up. On occasion, others from the other traditions have shown up who have worked with us, because it's part of the belief system of the client that we would turn to them for their help.
Right.
They're equally powerful.
Yeah, quite wonderful. I think quite wonderful too.
It's get out of the way. Let's invite the key people who are available from the light to come and join us and share their perspective, their guidance, their wisdom with us, as the client is channeling them, I'm channeling them, and we're being supported by the love and light of all that is. So it's all quite, to me, mystical, and yet so reinforcing and so loving and powerful that we can make so many changes rather quickly.
Roughly, what percentage of people that have come to you for some kind of help, what percentage roughly do you think have these past life or sort of outside this lifetime kinds of troubles or traumas, or like this woman is a man in a different lifetime, and not even a nice man, kind of a bad man.
Exactly.
Well, what percentage have that kind of issue? That
I think, as souls, what I see as my own perspective on all this, and I know we've talked about this in the past, is that maybe our goal as souls is to eventually return to God, to Source, the divine. And there are many places, perhaps, where we can experience what wants to happen for us to help our souls evolve. In other words, planets, stars, realms, and the like. They're all available to us, but Earth is seen as a very special place.
Yes.
It's a place that offers us free choice. One of the few places in the galaxy that offers free choice. So we come to Earth to practice making choices in physical body, and eventually we learn it's all about love, forgiveness, and compassion, and not about the lower emotions. But it takes many lifetimes for us to learn that. And so I've just discovered that one of our goals is to experience every aspect of what it is to be human, the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially the bad and the ugly. Because then we've done it. We've experienced that as souls, and can it lead to more compassion lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So that's part of what I sort of see as our goals, as being on Earth now, a very special place that offers this as an opportunity for our souls to evolve more quickly than perhaps other places.
So there's often going to be a lot that perhaps is currently troubling someone who might come to you for help.
And
in this someone on this planet, as opposed to perhaps some easier planet to be currently trying to evolve on, I would think.
And what I find as well is that help is all around, as you well know. And for me, as I share with my clients my perspective, for me, I feel like the guidance there are spirit guides, angels, archangels, and ascended masters. Each of them has a little cubicle with a comfortable chair, a small desk, and a red phone. They're waiting for your call. They're bored. Give them something to do. Earth is a free will zone, as I mentioned. We come to Earth to practice making choices. One of the choices can be, I'm going to do it myself. Great. Another choice can be, I'm going to ask for help from the unseen world. Help's all around. So
yeah.
call upon it and say thank you. They can then help you. And they do.
Help is truly all around. And actually, help is a wonderful shortcut toward being really, really in a position to go forward without a lot of the little things that might sort of catch on us and make it harder for us to go forward. All full speed ahead, everything all worked out and ready to go forward well. No, well, thank you. I think this was an especially good tale of a happy result. I'm happy to hear that this went so well.
Thank you. Well, thanks to you, because she heard about me through Seek Reality. So this operator is standing by.
I wish her an especially wonderful life as a result of this. This makes me very happy. And now we have really gone off the end of our time. I'm going to have to just quickly take a little moment to tell people who is our next guest and then come right back. So you stay put, my dear friend. Oh, hasn't that been wonderful? Once again, we've come to the end of our time together, but this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes, and I'm so happy you were with us today for this. This is really special. Never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began, and you never will end. And when you get what that means and all its implications, it changes everything in your life for the better. In your eternal life, actually, for the better. Next week, our guest will be Karen Frances McCarthy. Don't you love that name? She sounds like a nun to me, but she's really much better than just a nun. She's very educated, PhD, CSNU, and she'll be with us for the second time. Karen is an award-holding medium, spiritualist medium, and best-selling author whose work bridges the realms of spirituality, literature, and culture. Her mediumship is further enriched by the lyrical storytelling tradition of her Irish heritage to offer powerful, heart-centered communication. Dr. McCarthy's books have touched hearts and minds across the world. Her best-selling memoir, Till Death Don't Us Part, and that's from White Crow Books, 2020, to continue consciousness following her fiance's passing, was the first one, and that was a beautiful one. And her new book will be published this year. It's called The Reenchanted Ghost in Contemporary American Spectral. Oh my goodness, I don't like ghosts, but let's see what that one is like. Routledge Publishing is a very important publishing house, and that, as I say, will come out this year. And it reexamines the cultural and emotional dimensions of consciousness and spirituality together. This innovative research complements her academic teaching and writing, blending intellectual rigor with spiritual depth and enhancing her contributions to contemporary spiritual thought. Her work looks fascinating, and so please be with us next week so we can hear what she has to say. And this week we've been visiting with Peter Wright, my wonderful friend, who's been with us for the 25th time, amazingly. Peter is very good at his trade, and whenever he comes now, he gives us a story, which is a true story of someone who has gone to the fifth dimension with his help to explore things which otherwise I don't think can be explored in any other way. And people will find themselves in some other lifetime and where they sort of got caught somehow. And with Peter's help, they can free themselves and go forward more efficiently in this lifetime. And some of these stories are amazing, like this one was. In that previous lifetime, she was a he, and she was a very unpleasant, not very good he. But now she's free, and now she's going to do wonderful things with the help of Jesus. What a story, Peter. Thank you for that one. That was really huge. And now we also ought just to mention the fact that our dear friend Craig Hogan is the president and guru of Seek Reality Online. You're going to live forever, so you're going to end up in the afterlife, so you may as well, with Craig's help, learn a little bit about that, and so you'll be a little bit familiar with where you're bound to go next. And we have no more time actually to talk about anything else. So please enjoy and make the most of this coming week in our one reality, always knowing that you are a powerful, eternal being, and you, most of all in this entire universe, you in particular are infinitely, eternally, perfectly, and forever loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.